Good morning, team. It's April 1st, and I just wanted to tell you guys thank you for everything. I'm quitting the game, I'm leaving the chat room and everything. So, this is going to be the last video that I'm going to be posting. I'm joking with you guys, but looking at the overall SPY, I'm not going anywhere. But looking at the overall SPY, um, we are basically crossing up on the 20-day RSI is basically in the middle. We went from that oversold territory. I warned you guys yesterday in the chat room, do not swing those short position because the RSI was so oversold. Whenever you see the RSI this oversold, it's either going to continue to sell off, or once it starts to basically correct itself and come out this blue zone over here, we're going to slingshot back up. So definitely want to watch for some upside momentum, especially since we're sitting right above the 20-day SMA and we're sitting above the 20-day trade line. So watch for a break above 454, and then we could start basically pushing up towards 456 over here. If we get bearish, 20-day starts to cross down, we break this trade line and the SMA, watch for the break below 453, and then we could start getting down towards 451 on the overall SPY. So that's the 20-day. Jumping over towards the 180-day, you can see that we're still below that 180-day trade line, right? So that 180-day trade line is at 455 over here. So definitely want to be cautious around that 455. If you want, look for a long position above 455 towards that 456 zone. But if we reject this zone, MACD is still crossed down on the 180-day. So whenever you see the 180-day cross down, the 20-day is crossed up, you're going to get a choppy chart. Why? Because there is indecision. The charts are not facing the same way. So definitely want to be cautious, especially on a Friday. There's same day expirations for pretty much all stocks. So make sure you get some time on your contracts if you're unsure, or just stay away from the stock in general, right? So looking at the SPY, we're going to get some choppy action unless the 180-day bounces off divergence like support, which if you look in the past, you can see it happened over here in the past. So divergence can act as support and it basically bounces off. So that's one opportunity. Or we basically sink into it and we basically come down towards the 150s and maybe even lower. So got to see what's going to happen. Set your alerts. Make sure you guys are on your toes and ready for that. And like this video because we're dropping some good knowledge lately. Next one, looking at Tesla over here. You can see Tesla's going sideways. I said it's either going to pop or it's going to drop, right? Whenever you see a stock push up and go sideways, it's found resistance. It's either going to pop up or drop. You can see it struggled to break that 1120 zone. It basically pulled back 180-day cross down, right? It was overbought, right? So all scenarios for a pullback. So one thing you want to watch to see is if this 180 days is going to cross up, or we're going to get above that 1087 towards that 1100. So watch that for a long position, or watch for the break of 1060 down towards that 1035, the 1040 zone over here for a short position. MACD is crossed down. We're below the trade line. So it is more in favor for a bearish position at the moment. Even the 20-day is trying to cross down over here. So make sure you watch to see if it crosses up, then we can start getting bullish. If it doesn't, and we keep on rejecting those trade lines, we could come down. All right, so next thing we're going to be looking at is BABA. So BABA is basically pushing up. It's on the trending this morning. China is basically considering giving America access to basically Chinese audits. So basically we'll be able to see how BABA is really doing without basically their earnings or stuff like that. So that's one thing that you may want to watch Chinese stocks today. You may get like some sympathy plays or anything like that. BABA did move from like 107 to 117. This is the 20-day. There is a strong resistance around that 120. So watch for that 120 break towards 124. And if we start to come down, you want to wait for it to break that trade line, and the SMA over here could act as a strong support zone. So watch for that break below 1111 down towards 1007. Next one we're going to talk about is Robinhood. So been catching amazing short positions on this one, but it looked like the ride may be over. Why? We're sitting right above that SMA over here on the 20-day, finding some type of support. 20 days trying to cross up. So definitely want to be cautious around this zone, especially for a short position. Only safe short position you could possibly get is from 1344 down towards 1298. You can see that 1298 was resistance before. So it's a little bit gap for it to fill on the downside. And if you believe that this is looking weak, maybe you should basically wait for this 20-day to cross down in order to get that short position. Jumping over towards the 180-day on this one, you can see we're rejecting that 180-day trade line. So that is a positive sign for the bears. So watch for the break of that previous support down towards that low, which would be the start of that overall run up when they announce that news. So watch for that. If the stock does start to bounce, watch for that 1408 up towards 1456. And the one you guys have been waiting for, GameStop announces a possible stock split dividend and add more shares to the overall stock itself. So one or two things may happen over here. Now, the reason GameStop moves the way it does is because it's a low flow stock, right? A low float stock. So what does that mean? A low float stock means it doesn't have that many shares compared to like Amazon or Tesla, right? Or even an Apple, right? So that's why it's able to be manipulated and move the way it does. So what GameStop is trying to do is they're basically trying to add more shares and do a split. So it basically looks like the stock is cheaper. So what that's going to do is the moves that GameStop had before is not going to be as effective as it was, right? So you're not going to get those crazy moves from GameStop, but the company is going to have more money because people are going to be buying it at a cheaper price. So one or two things is going to happen. They're waiting for approval from basically the shareholders. So AMC had tried the same thing and it did not work well. So definitely be cautious with GameStop today, because anytime we get any news from the apes saying that they're not feeling this idea because they're going to be basically get flooded out, that this stock may actually come down. It's very overbought right now. It's doing like a double top. To be honest, I expected it to be a lot higher if this news was sustainable, right? We should have woke up around like the 200s, but we're still struggling with that $200 or 199 resistance. So watch for that $200 break. If it does happen, we should be able to push up higher, maybe even towards 220. If not, watch for a break below 180 down towards 158. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Today is Friday. Make sure you guys are very cautious. Use a stop loss. See you guys in the chat room. Like the video, share it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.